Hello and welcome back to the next video for this class. We'll usually have one video a week. So I hopefully you already looked at the welcome video. And next I'd like you to move into the sort of heart of our class, which you'll find under the unit section. So again, we're in Unit 1 for the first week. And if you want to look ahead, you can see that as we go along, there's going to be a few early terms, a few surveys to take. And I'll make a note of that at the end of the unit, a reminder. But we'll have a midterm one, and we'll also have sort of one at the end of our final course feedback as well. I don't have all of the units completely built out yet, but Unit 1 is absolutely ready for you. At the beginning of each unit, you'll notice that we have our course objectives. To develop a critical appreciation of short stories, to analyze and discuss the themes, and to recognize the ways short stories function as statements about life. To go and correspond with those three objectives, I've created three assignments that you'll see repeating throughout each week with different content. The first is the reading collaboratively activity, and I really think this is going to be a really exciting and a fun one for you to try out, especially since we're increasingly, at least in this class, reading online. And how do we engage with the text online? How can we mark it up? How can we sort of engage and sort of be in dialogue with that? And I think that one of the answers is to be collaboratively reading, to be reading, but also to see what others are thinking and kind of in conversation about this text, something that we would typically do in the classroom. And so throughout this course, we'll be reading short stories closely, effectively, and collaboratively online. And how do we do that? Every week, I'm going to have our short story freely accessible to you as a Google document. And what I'd like you to do for this very first assignment, and something that we'll be doing each week, is to open the document up and to sort of read through this document. Hopefully you have a desktop that you can work on or to click on and type on. But I'd like you to include this week 3 comments as you're reading. And those comments can include anything. I'm sort of opening up the conversation and allowing you to kind of think of ways that you can do that on your own this week. And subsequent weeks, I might ask you to focus in on something specific. This week, we're thinking about theme in particular. So anything that maybe harkens to a theme would be especially helpful. Any particular line, word, or phrase that you'd like to highlight or point out, please at least make 3 comments to this document. So that'll be due by Wednesday. And then by Friday, if you can come back and have sort of commented at least on 3 other students' comments, that will be part of your 50 points. So to both comment initially upon your first reading, but then also to reply to 3 other student comments in response will be your assignment for this first segment. So to open this document, you click here on this link. I also have it here so that you'll actually be able to see what's getting marked up in sort of real time. But you'll click it and make sure that you click this button here, the Open with Google Docs at the top. And here's your text. As simple as can be, we have Why I Write Short Stories by John Cheever. And just sort of a brief sort of description of what a short story is by someone who is a prolific short story writer himself. So just one sort of example of how someone's approaching and understanding short stories. When you're trying to comment in a Google Doc, just a quick sort of refresher is that all you have to do is sort of click to highlight what you want to comment on. So maybe I wanted to make a comment about the whole first paragraph, or maybe I just wanted to comment upon one particular word. I'll highlight it, and you can change it to a different color if you want to, or you can just right click and we can add a comment here. And I can say something like, my first comment exists here. And so once you publish it, we'll be able to read that there. And so again, 3 comments, it can be about the sort of language, it can be in response to a definition or a particular phrase, a sentiment, anything that this sort of reminds you of, anything that comes to mind as you're reading. You might specifically be thinking about what exactly or where exactly does this idea of theme come into this essay? Where does theme arrive? And so what exactly is theme is something we're going to learn a little bit more about this week. If you scroll down in Unit 1, the second assignment you have is to complete a terms and concepts entry. And so this is going to be our shared book throughout the semester. Again, a freely accessible book on literary terms. And so what exactly does theme describe? And some of you are probably already familiar with that. but a theme we'll look at on page 53. I think you can type in 53, or you could simply kind of scroll through and you'll see that the page numbers are at the top left. So if you can scroll to page 53, do a little bit of reading on what exactly theme is, and then I'll show you where you're going to add in sort of your contribution to this term. So here's theme, and it's just two short paragraphs. So read through that, kind of familiarize yourself, become familiar with exactly a theme is. And I'd like you to go to our terms and concepts slide deck. So here you'll see theme unit 1 will have a different page on our shared slide deck for each week. So for this week, we're really just I'm asking you to be responsible for this first page here. And what I'd like you to do by Wednesday is to click on this add to the slide deck. It'll open in a new window. And just like a PowerPoint, you'll click on this particular slide. And I'd like you to add in, I think I have instructions here at the top, a theme from a recent book, film, short story, or other media that you have dabbled in. So what have you read or seen lately? And what would you consider the theme of that to be based on the definition of what you've just read? Include the title of the source, the theme as you understand it, and a short quote from the source that illustrates its theme. Again, it's not limited to sort of the reading for this class, but anything that you've read or watched outside of this class would be perfectly fine too. So again, to add to the slide deck, you'll just click on this link and you can start typing in, whatever the theme of a recent show, film. It could be a short story. Maybe you're into reading short stories outside of this class. Perfect. A short story, a novel, anything that you've read. What do you think the theme explain. Why do you think the theme of it is, for example, overcoming obstacles or persistence? What is the sort of theme of your particular media that you've been looking at, as it is sort of described in this definition here on page 53? So you'll contribute to our shared slide deck. Again, we'll do this every week, but using a different term. And then the last thing I'd like you to do, this is going to be sort of the fun part, is to create an e-portfolio. So throughout the semester, you'll be creating a web page, a website for yourself, and you'll be actually including information from the class onto this website. So to create this e-portfolio, which is actually not going to be housed in Blackboard, it's going to be housed on Google Sites. So again, having a Google credential is important. You're going to create a website for yourself, which we'll refer to as a portfolio or an e-portfolio. And all you have to do is go to the Google Sites Builder and this link right here. We'll use this portfolio to write, create, and collect as the semester progresses. But for now, all you need to do is just create the site and build an introductory About Me page, introducing yourself to the class. Note that you can always move or revise this page later so that it does not have to stay as your landing page. But for just the sake of this particular assignment, I want you to build out an About Me page. And what I've done here is included some screenshots of exactly step-by-step how to do that. If you've never created a website in Google Sites before, that's perfectly fine. And hopefully these steps will be clear enough for you to follow along. So you'll start at this website, you'll sign in, and you'll look at the plus sign in the lower right corner and click there to open a new website. A new site template will open and you can give yourself a site, a title, and the page a title. So you can name it English 1150, short fiction, whatever you want to name this website. And your first page title should be something like About Me, or introduction is fine too. Your site title should be something like portfolio, and the page title could be introduction or About Me. Neither of these is the web address for your site. That will come when you click the publish up in the right-hand corner. So hold that thought for a moment. Note that Google Sites saves your work automatically, but it doesn't get published to the actual public web until you publish. Once you've chosen your site URL and clicked publish, you can use the discussion board to post the link. So what we're doing here is you're creating a site outside of Blackboard, but then you're linking, giving us a link within Blackboard so we can all access it. How do you get to the discussion board? All you have to do is simply click on, you'll see this little sort of icon, it's different, for example, than this icon, which is just an item. This means a discussion board, and that's graded 50 points. And so you'll click on it once you've created your site with your picture and just a little bit about yourself. You'll click on Create Thread. And the subject can be, about me, Professor Ott. And what you'll do is you'll insert after you click Publish, following these instructions on the website. You'll click Publish, and then you'll copy and paste the link down here. You can even, so add link right here, so that when we go into your discussion board, we can click on your link and find your portfolio. You'll click Submit. And you'll see, oh, look, Professor Ott published a thread. This is my discussion board posts. And what I'd like you to do is make sure you have your About Me / introduction page up and running by Wednesday. And then by Friday, I'd like you to come back and look and see. You have about 10 other students in this class. If you can look at and comment, I think I asked you to look at 2 or 3 other students and reply to those students and about their website. So let me go back in. I think I've asked you to reply to use this discussion board to reply to at least 4. Okay, so I made it 4. 4 other students that are in class. So thank you so much for following along. Again, there's a few different things that we're doing. We're doing terms and concepts, the shared slide deck. We're reading collaboratively, which I'm really excited about. So this is our first initial reading of the semester. And then to create a brief About Me page on Google Docs. So, Google Sites. And I look forward to learning a little bit more about you. And again, if anyone's curious, I do have some information about me on this link here to the left, this left ribbon. So thank you for paying attention. I know this was a rather sort of lengthy discussion in the sort of first week, but I am going to be watching very closely as the week goes on. Email me if you have questions, and please make sure you read collaboratively, add to our shared terms and concepts slide deck, and start to build out your e-portfolio with just an initial introduction page and picture. So thank you very much. I very much look forward to reading with you and to working with you this summer. So take care and have a great week. Thank you.